winning the last 3, allowing the opponents only 9 points in those 3 victories. Third winningest coach in history. Garo Yepremian delivers the ball. We're underway from Miami. From the 6-yard line, Robert Woods at the 20. He's got blockers, 25-30. Woods at the 40. And Woods finally out of bounds at the 45-yard line. Excellent return for Houston.
Well, you talk about a big break early, and that's it, getting great field position.
The Oilers come on the field. Quarterback Dan Pastorini, number 7, with Earl Campbell and Tim Wilson behind him.
Well, Dan Pastorini is hurting, and so it's going to be Earl Campbell having to do most of the work offensively.
Wide receivers, dangerous deep threat, 0-0 Ken Burrow. Guido Merkins, the rookie, was playing defensive back a month ago, and Mike Barber, good tight end.
Dick, what they've done, they brought in another tight end. They're playing in with 2 tight ends. Number 87, Conrad Rucker, is in there.
Rucker left, Barber right. Burrow, the only wide receiver. Earl Campbell gains only a yard, and you can bet they'll be king on Campbell all day. Check the offensive line for the Oilers. Sampson and Heyman, Mock the veteran at center, Fisher and Towns on the right side.
They've done a great job protecting Dan Pastorini because they have the fewest sacks, 17 in the National Football League. They need it today because Dan is really hurting.
Both quarterbacks are going to be the focal point of the defense, and the offensive line trying to protect them like crystal. 2nd and 9. Campbell breaks a tackle. Down at the 50-yard line on the carpet at the Astrodome, he may have stayed on his feet.
I think you're right because he's such a powerful runner that the turf slipped right out from under his feet. You wouldn't get that on synthetic turf. What he does, he changes direction. That's the great ability of number 34, Earl Campbell. He was designed to go to the left, all the way over around to the right side, and right there the turf came up. Otherwise, you would have picked up a few more yards.
Campbell, 224 pounds, the National Football League rushing champion. Pastorini looks at 3rd and 5 from midfield. Tim Wilson. The Dolphins have held. Bob Baumauer, 73, spearheaded the charge. Houston will have to kick it away.
An injury to Pastorini is the reason I'm sure that he ran on 3rd down, because that was primarily a passing down. Over 3 yards on 3rd down, generally you're going to throw the football.
I have the feeling the Dolphins will do the same early once.
I look for both teams to blitz, to try to put pressure on the quarterback. It's not a very pleasant thing to do, but the key man out there is that quarterback. If he's hurting, go after it.
Cliff Parsley to punt it away. Deep to return, Jimmy Cephalo at the 10-yard line. Parsley averaged just under 39 yards a punt. Beautiful spiral. That's going to float into the end zone for the touchback. And Miami will put it in play at the 20-yard line. And Bob Griese, number 12, brings his Dolphin offensive unit onto the field. Let's set that Miami offense. Griese, Delvin Williams set a new Miami rushing record in his first year here with the Dolphins. Leroy Harris, powerful fullback.
Bob Griese is out there. He hasn't thrown the football until today all week long. Now, he can throw the football, but can he take a lick? That's the problem. He gets hit, how's he going to be able to get up? Or is he going to be able to get up?
His wide receivers, and he's got some talent. Matt Moore, Duriel Harris with the tight end Andre Tillman. Tillman has 31 catches, Harris 45, Matt Moore 48. Harris gains 5 after breaking out of the tackle of Jim Young, number 77. Steve Kiner finally nailed him at the 25. Offensive line for Miami. And it's a veteran offense in front of Gracie Langer, the All-Pro at center, Kuchenberg and Pursuit for the injured Larry Little at guard, Wayne Moore and Mike Current the tackles.
Number 67, Bob Kuchenberg, 62, Jim Langer. They are experienced offensive linemen in this type of the game, playoff situations.
Well, you appreciated those,
that
gents.
Helps.
You
it
took
really
them out
helps.
to dinner.
That's right.
2nd and 5. That's Tillman lining up on the left side, split the backs. Williams right, Harris left. Griese's first throw almost intercepted by Greg Bingham, number 54. It was intended for Delvin Williams in the right flat, and Bingham had his eyes on that one.
Almost coming up with an interception. You can notice the way that Bob Griese threw the ball. He didn't have a whole lot on it. He just got it out there. And not much authority, because that's going to be a problem. You're looking at that offensive line, Curly Culp trying to take somebody's head off. There is not a number out there that's generally there, Dick, and that is number 66, Larry Little, one of the all-time great guards. He's injured, is not going to play today.
Bingham him out as the Oilers bring in their pass prevent defense. 5 defensive backs, 3rd down 5. Norm Bulash into the lineup for Miami. The backs in the pattern. A flag is down. Caught. Harris out of bounds at the 37. It's a first down if the penalty is against Houston.
Well, that was a fine throw, fine timing pattern by Duriel Harris, number 82. He is one of the best pattern movers or men in the National Football League. Does an outstanding job. Also, in that last play, number 89, Nat Moore, was in the backfield, coming out of the backfield, which they will do. Bob Griese, great protection, getting the ball out on time. Number 82, Duriel Harris.
Little guy plays a big game.
They're not only receivers, they're ends. You'll also watch downfield. They're going to be throwing blocks. They are a complete football player. I'm talking about both number 89, Nat Moore, 82, Duriel Harris.
The penalty was against Houston, offside. Obviously declined by Miami. We have the first down of the game. Ball at the 37. Griese well protected, open. Delvin Williams at the 44, hit immediately by Steve Kiner. Griese apparently going to those short passes. Defensive line for the Oilers. Young, Colpin Bethea, 78 and 65. Colpin Bethea are in the Pro Bowl.
Right, and there are 2 players. There are 4 players on that Houston team that have been involved in a playoff. Curly Culp, 78, is the only one to go all the way to the Super Bowl and win it when he was a member of the Kansas City Chiefs.
Griese asking for quiet. 2nd down 2. And apparently something wrong with the ball. In fact, Bob told us yesterday, Len, it hurt him just to call signals. And you can just imagine a rib injury where just breathing alone is painful.
You're screaming out there when you're on offense because you have to have your wide receivers hear what you're calling. A lot of times you're checking off at the line of scrimmage, and it hurts to do that.
Delvin Williams first carry. 50s to the 49 of the Oilers. First down. Miami fans a chance to cheer consecutive first downs and the first penetration opponent's territory by Miami. Let's reset that defense. The linebackers of Houston, and there are 4 active tough linebackers. Brazil, Bingham, Kiner, and Washington. Brazil in the Pro Bowl.
Brazil maybe as good. People think he's the best outside linebacker in the National Football League. I'd have to say Jack Ham is up there also, but he's a great football player.
First down at the Houston 49. At best. Did he fumble? A scramble for the ball, and I believe Houston is recovered at the 50-yard line. The Oilers have it. Ted Washington, 59, was around the ball. Let's see it when they unpile who's got it. A battle between Kuchenberg, 67, and up with the football is Washington, 59, the first turnover of the game.
Number 78, Curly Culp. Now he is going to be occupying 2 men, and you see that he shot the gap. He knocked the ball out of the ball carrier's hand, turning a big turnover for Houston right at midfield.
You told me before the game, as a former teammate of Curly Culp, he's ready to play a big game, and he makes a big play early.
When the games are tough, Curly is exceptionally tough.
Holiday greetings to all pro football.
Larry Little sideline with a knee and ankle injury. He can only offer moral support today. First down Houston after the fumble at the 50. Earl Campbell tripped up in his own backfield by Bob Baumauer, 73. 2 big plays by Baumauer early. Vern Den Herder, he's the veteran on that defensive line. Baumauer and Dewey, second-year men.
Well, Vern Den Herder is the veteran. Now, he's the one that has to keep that young defensive line together out there because he has been through the experience of playoff competition.
Miami and Houston both use the 3-4 alignment. Little mix-up as Pastorini resets Campbell. Tim Wilson with him.
6 seconds to go. He better get the play off.
Just does make it. First throw by Pastorini. Complete to Wilson. And he's out of bounds at the 48-yard line. Ridden out by Gerald Small, the rookie cornerback from San Jose State. It'll be 3rd down, 8.
Play action pass. That's what Earl Campbell has done for Pastorini. A lot of play action pass. Number 50 is Gordon, and he's had an outstanding year. Here he is looking for run, also has the speed to go back, cover the man, get involved in the tackle.
3rd down, 8. Houston at the Miami 48-yard line. Looking for Burrow. Intercepted and dropped. Oh my, Rick Volk, the veteran safety man, Yes, he timed his move perfectly.
He had that read all the way. He was reading that pattern. He knew that he was going to go to Kenny Burroughs. The other receiver, Mike Renfro, is out for the year. He's not playing, so here's the man that Pastorini in third down situation is going to go to. I know that. If I know that, you know that number 21, Rick Volk, knows it also.
Volk's 12 years in the National Football League. He's done his homework, and he was ready to pick that one off. He intercepted 4 this year. Parsley kicking to Nat Moore, who stands inside the 10. Don Chula using his ace to return kicks. Beautiful high spiral. They might have a chance at downing that one. Takes a Houston bounce, and Miami will have it around the 5-yard line. They mark it outside the 5 at the 6, and we have a timeout. 9 minutes, 8 seconds left first quarter. Miami, Houston, no score. Back Sports World for the 1979 edition on January 14th, and we have a gangbuster show for you. 6-yard line, Miami, no score. 9 minutes and 8 seconds left in the first quarter. Leroy Harris picks up about 7 yards. Harris, the bulky fullback, 220 on just a 5'9.5" frame.
Well, he 5'9.5", but he is very, very strong, and it's tough to bring him down. You can't bring him down by grabbing him with your arms. You better put some shoulder pads on Leroy Harris.
Down and about 3. Make it 2nd and 2 out at the 14-yard line.
This is a quarterback's dream. 2nd and 2 as opposed to 2nd and 8.
Williams. Oh, you saw that explosive start, trying to duck it forward to the first down. I believe he's short by about a half yard. 57 Kiner and 20 Courier from the secondary to make the tackle.
That play was designed to go inside, but because of the stunting that goes on with Houston, the linebackers and Curly Culp over the nose, there was nothing inside, and he wisely took it outside and picked up a couple of yards.
Kiner, the primary tackler, started at Dallas and New England, played here at Miami, Washington, New England, found a home in Houston.
Very little, I'll assure you, that when they come to the sideline, he's giving advice to those young offensive linemen.
Especially 65 to Suda, who's replaced him. 3rd and 1. It appears he made it. He had to cross the 16-yard line. We'll see where they spot the ball.
The offensive line did a good job of pushing back that defensive line because there was no penetration by Houston's defensive line, and they had about 6 men on that front trying to stop this short yardage situation. But Delvin Williams just glides behind his backs. Good block by Leroy Harris, the running back, who compliments his man back there. You know, the back is always going to be doing something. He's not carrying the ball. Most of the time he's involved in blocking, and a key block most of the time.
First down Miami at the 17. 7.5 minutes left first quarter. No score. Griese to throw. Incomplete to Leroy Harris in the right flat.
Trying to set up a screen to the right side, and they're doing that more now with Leroy Harris as opposed to a few years ago when they had Larry Zonka. Zonka caught very few balls. So they gave that to the rest of the receivers, and Larry was just pounding it up the middle most of the time. But
Jim Tick was their primary back.
He come in on 3rd down situation, much like Norm Boulash will also do with this ball club. Passing situation, you'll see him a lot of the time.
2 injured quarterbacks, Pastorini and Griese, matched against each other in the Orange Bowl. Delvin Williams, nothing there. Fine defensive hit. Submarining in to make the stop was Ted Washington from Mississippi Valley. In his 6th year, he was drafted by Kansas City in the 17th round back in '72. A wise choice.
Yes, I recall Ted Washington when he was with Kansas City, and he is an exceptionally strong young man. Very strong.
At the 15-yard line, Griese faces 3rd down and 12.
Yes, this is the situation that he doesn't want to be in, because this is definitely your passing situation. I'm looking really for Houston to tee off and blitz and try to put pressure on it. They haven't yet.
More in motion, Cephalo on the other side. And they stay on the ground to Williams. And look at that play sideline. Number 33, J.C. Wilson at the right corner met the interference, and a diving tackle to stop Williams for no gain. So Shula's offense unable to move the ball, and in to kick comes George Roberts.
This is about the toughest play that a cornerback is going to have, because you've got an offensive lineman coming out. You see Kuchenberg, number 67, a great guard. He slipped also, but down underneath and making the tackle. J.C. Wilson, number 33.
Roberts, one of the many injured. He has a bad knee. Robert Woods way back inside his 40-yard line. And that seemed wise. Nothing wrong with a knee on that kick. Oh, my! The ball! Miami recovers at the 20-yard line. Ernest Roan, number 55, gives Miami a first down at the 21 of the Oilers.
Well, what the offense could not muster during that last drive, the special teams did with the fumble recovery. That was a great, great kick. Very tough to handle because it was so high, and he's a left-footed kicker. Now, you may think, well, what difference does that make? It makes a difference when you don't see it very often. The ball is spinning the opposite way that you're generally accustomed to catching it. But what he should have done, make sure the football fall on that first. Great break for Miami.
Roan comes up with a football, and Bob Griese and the Dolphins make hay on one long kick by Roberts, a muff by Robert Woods. No score, 5:52, first quarter. Leroy Harris, ad-libbing, breaks a tackle, and he's inside the 15-yard line. He ran right over Greg Stemrick. Robert Brazil finally caught him traversing the field. A great run by Harris.
Well, a big man like that is not supposed to have this versatility, but he has. It started off going to his right. He stops right there and reverses his field. The reason he's doing this is because Houston really chases. Now, here's a cornerback hitting about as well as he can, but never getting his arms around that big fullback, so consequently it didn't bring him down.
Ball at the 14-yard line, 2nd and 3. See if Griese goes to the air, almost a free down for him. He is.
Give him 6.
Enberg, Tillman, touchdown. The tight end has his 4th touchdown of the year. Miami jumps in front.
Well, Dick, you call that right. You must have been in their quarterback meeting. Here's the man that he likes to go to, number 87, Andre Tillman. You can see how valuable Bob Griese is to this football team. Great blocking. They're trying to double cover the outside. That means linebackers are trying to cover this big tight end, and they're not going to get that accomplished too often.
Nothing wrong with his arm. That's a strike to Tillman.
He reads defenses as well as any quarterback. Andre Tillman, number 87, clutch player.
Garo Yepremian to try the point after. Don Strock to hold. And 2 seconds left in the first quarter. The Dolphins capitalize on a Houston fumble to take the early lead. Miami 7, the Oilers nothing. Andre Tillman on the sideline, 7-0 Miami with 5 minutes left in the first quarter. As Yepremian kicks it off. Robert Woods, another chance. Has it at the 14, 20. Down at the 24-yard line. Bruce Hardy, number 84. And number 80, Loard McCrary, in on the tackle. Bo Rather had a piece of the action as well. Don't forget tomorrow, fans, college action. UCLA and Arkansas, the Fiesta Bowl. 2 well-matched teams. Kurt Gowdy, John Brody to bring you all the action.
Isn't that where Lou Holtz is going to be wired on the sideline?
Yeah, we'll hear all his comments.
He better call the right plays. Everybody's going to hear it.
Ball at the 29-yard line. First down, Houston, trailing 7-0. And again, Campbell lost his footing trying to cut back inside. Vern Den-Hur then pounced on him.
Field is going to be a disadvantage to Earl Campbell, it looks like.
Let's check the linebackers and the deep 4 for the Dolphins. Backers for Miami, Toll Chambers, Gordon and Bo Camper. And the defensive secondary, Thomas and Small at the corners, Foley and Babb at safety. Campbell. What a hit by number 58. He's a big guy, 6'6" and 245. Not many men have brought Campbell down with one lick.
Well, I'll tell you, I think they remember the last time that they met this Houston football team, because Earl Campbell had a picnic against the Miami Dolphins, but not this time. They've done their scouting very well, and number 58, Bo Camper, did a great job of shedding off the blocker and making a one-on-one tackle on this man, and that is not an easy job to do.
Campbell, 5 carries, only 3 yards, 3rd and 10.
Yeah, but he's capable of breaking it at any time, though.
The backs in the pattern. Campbell, no, it's Wilson. And he may have the first down. Tim Wilson from the University of Maryland. A clutch throw by Pastorini as he scrambled away from pressure. And I believe he's got the first down. Bo Camper made the tackle. First down, Houston.
I didn't know whether he was going to be able to move at all or not with all the apparatuses that he has. You can see his right leg has that brace on. He's got rib pads, but he was able to move forward. And he has such a strong arm that he's able to do that. He can just flick it a little bit. Yesterday I was out here watching him throw flat-footed 60 yards into the end zone.
Houston celebrates its initial first down. It comes with 3 minutes left in the first quarter. Play action, Pastorini looking long. Hits Richard Castor. Castor, number 88. He was questionable. They didn't know if he'd play at all. Has a groin injury. Picks off a big throw, a 12-yard gain. First down at the 50.
Dan Pastorini has such a strong arm, as I was just mentioning a minute ago, that he can stand flat-footed where most quarterbacks can't. Most quarterbacks have to use those legs. But he's capable of throwing the ball 85 or 90 yards. So he can stand there flat-footed and just flick that ball out there. And he did it, and the thing traveled with authority some 25, 30 yards.
Burrow in motion. Campbell goes the other way. Gains about 4 yards. Smothered by a defense led by Baumauer, 73, and Dewey, 77.
Well, this Miami defense is doing a great job containing Campbell so far. 86 or 88 is Castor, and his job is to handle Gordon. It's kind of a standoff, but Gordon takes his shot later on. But here's where power is. You can see it right there with Earl Campbell. He got 3 or 4 yards strictly on his spring.
Larry Gordon, who turned the play inside. 2nd and 6. Play action. Going long for Burrow. Charlie Babb, 49, had a better shot at the interception than did Burrow for the touchdown. Pastorini can usually throw it longer than that. Wonder whether or not he was restricted by that.
I think what he was doing, he was fairly well, Burrows was fairly well covered. He threw that ball up in the air because number 00, Ken Burrows, has the great leaping ability, and I'm sure Dan felt, well, if I get it up in the air, even though there might be a couple of defensive backs back there, he might still have a chance. But he's throwing most of that with his arm, and I was telling you what a great arm he has. But here it is, Burrows right here. He's thinking, well, maybe my man has just as good a chance as the other 2 defensive men to come up with a football.
3rd and 6 at the Miami 46. Barber, the tight end, first down at the 36 of the Dolphins. And again, Pastorini with a bullet.
Hey, he is firing that ball, and it's really amazing that he's able to do that. That time he was able to step forward and throw the football. He can go back in the pocket straight back. I don't think that he's going to be very mobile back there, but you can see now he's rifling that ball, and he does take a shot right to the rib area that's been bothering him, and also the right. You can see right there is the shot.
That's the elbow too, the right elbow.
Right at the numbers, right exactly where you want the football.
Barber, a brilliant young tight end, 2nd year out of Louisiana Tech with a catch. Pastorini hits Burrow. First down inside the 15-yard line. And the few Oiler fans here at the Orange Bowl have a chance to crow.
Well, I'll tell you something, that Dan Pastorini is really showing me something, because I saw him. I know what he had to go through to get ready for this football game. He came out here. I accused him of being here at 9 o'clock in the morning to piece him together to get him out there. But he is such a tough individual, such a competitor. That's the reason he's doing so well out there this afternoon.
13-yard line, first down, Houston. 7-0 Miami. Final seconds. Burrow on the flanker screen. Knocked out of bounds at the line of scrimmage. No gain. Number 41, Norris Thomas, the left corner, made the play.
Also number 58, Bo Camper was out there, and he really helped make that play, because he wouldn't let Burroughs any room at all to cut upfield. That's a quick screen, and they want to get the ball out to Burroughs as fast as they can, get a lineman out there and get him downfield. Hopefully.
10 seconds left as Don Shula studies the situation. Only Curly Lambeau and George Halas have won more games in this National Football League than Shula.
He's such a great coach, and he's overcome a lot of adversity, too, with players injured.
2nd and 9. Little reverse, fake reverse. Touchdown, Tim Wilson, and what a throw as Pastorini threaded it through 4 different Miami players to get it to Wilson.
I'll tell you, and Wilson did a great job too, because he was open earlier, but Pastorini would have had to throw the ball out of the ballpark to get it to him. Wilson, number 45, saw Dan Pastorini stop, let the defensive man go beyond him, and Pastorini did a great job of getting the ball to him.
Wilson with the first Oiler touchdown to make it 7-6. And to try to tie it up, the veteran Tony Frisch.
Now here's something too, Dick. Pastorini ordinarily is the holder. And this may not seem like a big thing, but it is to a kicker.
Gifford Nielsen will spot it for Frisch. Right down the middle. Timeout with 3 seconds remaining in the first quarter. The Oilers have drawn even. Houston 7, Miami 7. It looks as if we've got a good one going in the Orange Bowl. A 7-7 tie. This will be the final play of the first quarter. Duriel Harris stands deep. Dante Pastorini completed the last 4 in a row to get the Oilers on the board. Short kick. Bulash takes it away from Harris, 15, and he pays the price at the 19-yard line. C.L. Whittington, along with 31, number 31, Brian Duncan, collaborated on the stop. And we'll be back with the second quarter of today's football action from the Orange Bowl in Miami after these messages from your local station.
To come back, and both of them did a great job for the touchdown.
Very impressive drive by the Oilers after the kickoff from the 19. Bob Griese and the Dolphins put it in play. Screen to Harris. He's got blockers. 20, 30. He's all the way to the 40-yard line before Mike Reinfeld can knock him down.
Well, I'll tell you what, great block out there by Eric Lakeso, number 68, the guard coming out on that screen pass, did a great job of knocking the linebacker down, enabling number 38, Leroy Harris, to cut any way that he wants. Curly Culp, he knows it's a screen right there. He knows, hey, somebody's trying to fool me. But you're going to see downfield right there, a great block on a linebacker by Eric Lakeso, giving this man an opportunity to run anywhere that he wants.
Lakeso, the young Finn from Tulane University, with a block in for the injured Larry Little, and Harris picks up 20 on the carry to the 39. Harris again. Cuts back inside. And gets 10 more. Elvin Bethea trailing the play along with 27. Greg Stemrick make the stop.
I thought it was going to be Delvin Williams this afternoon to do the running for offensively for Miami, but Leroy Harris is doing some great running. And what he's doing, he's running with his head up so that he can see where the holes are, so that he gets to cut back against this team because they go laterally so very well. I'm talking about the Houston defense. You're going to have to be able to cut back to gain yards on him, and this man is doing it exceptionally well this afternoon.
You saw Harris raise his hand as if to say, give me a breather, coach, so he's out of there, and replacing him is veteran Norm Bulash, 31. And it's Delvin Williams, popped hard by Brazil and company after a yard game. This telecast is presented by authority of the National Football League, intended for the private use of our audience. Any rebroadcast or other use of this telecast without the express written consent of the Miami Football Club and the National Football League is prohibited. Congratulations from us in the NBC booth, Len Dawson, Dick Enberg, to Lehman Bennett and the Atlanta Falcons. They did it again, down 13-0. They rallied, scored in the final 2 minutes, beat Philadelphia 14-13, and survived the last-second field goal try by the Eagles.
There's been one miracle after another.
Now Atlanta advances. Bulash. Bingham was right there along with Steve Baumgartner, 63, in case. those stands do not reflect lack of interest in the game. The game is sold out, can't buy a ticket, but they're not completely constructed as yet. They're here for the Orange Bowl. You'll see on NBC in the Super Bowl, also to be televised here on NBC. And it's a sellout. Those seats are not available, although you see some of the security people occupying the lower seats. You wouldn't want to be up in the high seats. They don't have the complete support underneath those.
It might be a quick drop if you're up that high.
Griese, the best percentage of any NFL passer this year, 63%. Couldn't get there. There's a case where Griese didn't have enough arm. Harris wide open.
That's the difference, I think, between Bob Griese and Dan Pastorini. Now, he has to use his legs, and he can't do it all with his arms. I know Bob can throw the ball 50 or 55 yards. Well, this man here, Pastorini, can throw it about 85 yards. He had his man open down there, but he didn't get the ball to him the way he wanted to.
See if he winces when he throws here, Len.
Well, you know, he's winding up. He's stepping to throw. It's a short follow-through, so you know that the ribs are bothering him. And, of course, Kiner, number 57, is going to come in there and test the ribs for him a little bit, too.
More right with Cephalo in the slot. And Harris, 3 wide receivers. Griese going long for Cephalo. And a beautiful play by 37 Mike Reinfeldt to break up a possible touchdown. And again, the ball just a little short.
Yes, sir. Had the ball been out there, it was 6 points. And once again, that's a problem that Bob is going to have this afternoon. And I'm sure Houston realizes this, too. They know how strong his arm is. But had he been able to get that football out there far enough, it would have been a touchdown because his man, Jimmy Cephalo, had at least a step and a half on the defensive man.
He had to slow up and come back for the ball. So Reinfeldt out of the University of Milwaukee, Wisconsin, takes a seat doing his job. Robert Woods fumbled the last punt from Robert, stands at the 10. Good pressure. Good kick. Cornelius down there for Miami. Out of bounds at the 3.5. Roberts, 2 booming kicks for Miami. Timeout, 12:33 remaining in the first half. A 7-7 tie, the Dolphins and Oilers, as George Roberts celebrates a fine kick. Appropriate name for a ball. It's a fiesta time for the football fan. Arkansas, UCLA tomorrow. And don't forget, a week from tomorrow, the Rose Bowl and the Orange Bowl on NBC. Earl Campbell plowing forward to the 7-yard line. A gain of 4. 2nd and 6. The Oilers deep in their own end as they work on the bottom of the shoe of Ted Washington.
This is an area down here where they've got to get Mr. Earl Campbell moving because he's got to get him out of a jam down here. Number 83, Den Herder coming in, controlling his man. See, that's the way to play defense. Control that offensive man and throw him whichever way you want and go in and make the tackle. Of course, as an offensive man, you don't want him to do that.
Campbell again. Boy, he gets a fast start, but that defense was waiting for him. A yard gain. A.J. Dewey from LSU spearheaded the charge. 77.
Well, I'll tell you, they're doing a great job of controlling that line of scrimmage, not letting Earl Campbell loose. There is nothing there. Look at it. He's getting both hands. He knows that he's going to get nailed by A.J. Dewey, number 77. A great job. Look at, there's 4 men around that ball carrier. When you're doing that defensively, you're doing a great job.
199 yards was Campbell's best game of this rookie season, but he has about 20 so far in the first half today. 3rd and 5. Pastorini from his own end zone. Complete to Coleman, but a flag is down. Coleman near a first down yardage, but I believe we have holding against Houston. Gives us a chance to introduce the officials. Dick Jorgensen is the referee, representing 72 years pro experience on this unit of officials, holding against the Oilers. And the 8 men that are in the zebra shirts today have 160 years combined officiating experience.
That means they've been to a lot of locker rooms, haven't they? Thrown a lot of yellow flags.
That's a lot of puckers and a lot of whistles. It's warm, 80 degrees. And I think what we're going to have is a measurement first. Miami will decide whether they want the penalty or not, depending on whether it's a first down for the Oilers. It's not a first down, so now Don Shula has the decision. You want to decline the penalty and force the Oilers to punt.
Yeah, he's not going to take the penalty. He knows that they're going to have to kick out of that situation down there.
Would you or did you ever play for a coach that might gamble down there, fourth down and inches?
Not with that much time remaining in the first half. The score tied 7-7.
Not if he wanted to work again next year.
That's true.
I imagine there are a few special fans watching this game in Pittsburgh and New England. The Steelers and the Patriots wondering.
Also Denver.
That's right, Denver, who they might be playing next week. Well, you're the punter. Parsley taking the snap. You're in your own end zone. And hit a short kick. Nat Moore on the run. 45-40. He's at the 30. And knocked out of bounds at the 23-yard line. Moore, a dangerous kick by Houston. Moore took it on the dead run.
Well, he's such a dangerous man offensively, and he can do so many things. Now, he caught that on the dead run. A lot of return men would have gotten away from the football rather than take a chance. But he has so much confidence in his ability to catch the football and run with it. He goes after everything.
Knocked off balance just enough to drive him out of bounds, but Miami in a 7-7 tie with 10:58 left in the first half. Great field position. First down at the 23.
Great field position for Bob because he can throw the ball, he can run, he can do anything he wants down here.
Williams to the 21-yard line. Williams with a badly bruised knee, and he's not running 100%. That's not the same man that gathered 1,258 yards during the season.
Well, he is really an outstanding running back, and he has such tremendous speed. He can accelerate. He'll glide along that line of scrimmage, and then when he sees the opening, he is there in a hurry. Now, he's a legitimate, in college, I know, a 4.3 sprinter in the 40 yards. And that's what most coaches in football judge a man on, which means that he is moving rather rapidly.
Like that smile. That's the man, too. Williams, he has a great frame of emotions. Griese. What a catch by Andre Tillman. He took it right away from Bill Courier.
I said before, when they get in tight situations, particularly down near the goal line, that number 87 is the man that Bob Griese is going to be looking for because he comes up with great catches. Once again, what you must have is pass protection. Look at that offensive line. Look at Kuchenberg looking around for somebody to hit, and he finds somebody. But here it is. He hooks up right in front of number 20, Bill Courier. The ball is there. It's a completion. They're on the move once again.
The toughest first and goals, however, the 10-yard line dissecting the ball. Griese has to go the full 10. Inside handoff, fumble, and Houston has it at the 8-yard line. Another critical turnover, and the Oilers stop Miami on the fumble as Reinfeldt came up with a loose ball. Here's how it happened.
We have a trap play inside, hoping to break him clean if the linebackers were coming. But you can see when you're in there, those defensive linemen are taught, go for that football, strip it. Once the man is standing up, go after the football. The big break for Houston.
It appeared Bethea forced the fumble. Timeout. 9:27 left in the first half. It remains tied at 7. From the Orange Bowl in Miami, where the Oilers have just stopped Miami on a fumble at their own 8-yard line. Credit Curly Culp with his second forced fumble. Pastorini going long for Burrow.
Yes, sir.
All the way to the 38-yard line of Miami, and what a throw by Pastorini, about 60 yards in the air.
He threw that ball right near the goal line. It ends up on the 40-yard line, so you know he threw the ball about 60 yards. Here's a man with a bad knee, with a bad ribs, with a real bad throwing arm because it's badly swollen. There he is at the goal line. They're looking at a 65, 8, 53.
53 officially.
I was thinking that...
But he was 7 yards behind the line of scrimmage.
I was thinking that he's doing so well, maybe Vaughn Phillips next year is going to beat him up before all the game.
That's getting out of the hole in a hurry. First down at the 39. 58, Kim Beaucamper.
Well, that's a Miami play. Miami likes to run that type of play. You start in one direction. It's a designed play to stop what they want. They want that defense to go toward this side. Now he's stopping, turning around, and only a man with great ability is able to do that. Karl Mock, 55, out in front, providing a block. You see the offensive lineman out in front, but number 58, Beaucamper, staying at home. By that, I mean that was his responsibility for reverses. Don't be chasing until you know exactly the man's downfield. He did a great job of coming up with a big tackle.
Campbell again, running through tacklers to the 33-yard line, short of the first down. It'll be 3rd and about 4. Rusty Chambers, 51, and Larry Gordon, 50. Linebackers for the Dolphins made the hit on Earl Campbell. What a story. Heisman Trophy winner to undoubtedly NFL Rookie of the Year.
You know, they're testing out there. They're trying to go to Beaucamper's side. No luck there. Now they're going over to Gordon's side. No luck there. Really, the only success that Dan has had is putting the ball up in the air.
And the Dolphins are looking past 3rd down and 4. He's having a big first half.
He's having a great. I was wondering when they were going to do this, because here's a man that is crippled up and is not healthy, can't move, and he knows it. That's the wisest thing that Dante could do, is hit the dirt.
Beaucamper, who had 8 sacks, second on the Miami team this year, second only to Den Herter's 9. And that takes Houston out of any possible field goal thoughts. And Nat Moore retreats to his 10-yard line as Parsley from Oklahoma State in punt formation. Line drive punt. That's going to go easily into the end zone. So Miami's ball at the 20-yard line. Now the Dolphins lost a lot of real estate, however, on that fumble down at the 8. Now they're back at their own 20. 6:39 left in the first half in the Orange Bowl. Dolphins 7, Oilers 7. And we hope you'll enjoy the game tomorrow here on NBC. The Fiesta Bowl, Arkansas, UCLA, 3:30 Eastern Time. 7-7 tie. And with 6:39 left in the first half, Griese to throw. Open. But again, the pass fading on Duriel Harris out at the 33-yard line.
Well, there's not the zip on the ball that Bob would like, and I know that the ribs are bothering him because his delivery is not the same that it ordinarily is. He has such great timing with his receivers that he had a man that open. Duriel Harris was wide open. Bob ordinarily would have gotten the ball to him.
Went to Purdue. That was your alma mater. Did you have any workings in recruiting, Griese, for the Boilermakers?
Bob was 10 years, a decade.
Well, but you still might help Purdue. They produced a lot of fine signal callers, Purdue, through the years. Lots of time. Had that one on the money, and a rare miss by Nat Moore. He wanted to catch the ball before it got there.
Well, what he did, too, is he let that ball get to his body instead of using his hands to catch it. But this ball was on target. It was a great pattern by Nat Moore, number 89. Bob's great protection back here. He can step and throw. When you can step up and throw and see like that, you're able to throw the ball well. But you're right, he took his eyes off it just a moment instead of catching it in his hands. See, first things first is catch the football.
In fairness to Moore, however, the ball was a little behind him, and that makes it tougher.
Not for Nat Moore. That ball was his, and I'll assure you that he knows that that was his.
Moore, the leading receiver. 48 catches, 10 touchdowns. Griese a tough 3rd and 10 from his own 20. 3 wide receivers. Moore and Harris left. Cefalo right. It was Moore, but he had not turned to look for the ball in time, and Houston's going to get it in pretty good field position.
Well, I'll tell you, Bob didn't like that throw. I can assure you that, because he threw the ball way before Nat Moore even turned around.
The Oilers, Robert Woods will drift deep to his own 30 as George Roberts, his kicking has been instrumental in Miami enjoying good field advantage. A couple of fumbles by Leroy Harris have hurt the Dolphins.
Great thing about his kicking is he gets such great height on it.
Another high, perfect spiral. Woods. Oh, almost lost another at the 35-yard line. Charles Cornelius, 44, applying the pressure for Miami. 6 minutes and 9 seconds left in the first half of this AFC wild card battle, and the Oilers and Dolphins each have 7. Miami, temperature in the high 70s, sellout crowd 75,000. Dan Pastorini, look at those statistics. He's had a big first half for a man licking a lot of wounds. He's got a man open. Barber at the 20, all the way to the 9-yard line goes the tight end of the Oilers, and Pastorini clicks again.
Well, that was a beautiful, beautiful pass because it was a nice soft floater, but it was lit perfectly. He was able to catch it over his shoulder right in stride. As I was saying before, Pastorini, if he's playing this well, being hurt like he is, Bum Phillips may decide next year to make sure he's hurt before every ball game. But look at this, great protection, and that's what Earl Campbell has done for this man. He's provided an opportunity for him to throw a lot of play-action passes, and what that does, it freezes the linebackers for a split second, and also the defensive backs, giving your receivers an opportunity to get in the open.
Gerald Small saved the touchdown after Barber beat him. Here's Campbell to the 6-yard line. Barber, the tight end, not only a fine blocker, 6'3" and 235, but the second leading receiver for the Oilers this year, and many feel that he's ticketed for all-pro recognition.
Well, with Kenny Burrows so predominant in that offensive plan of the Houston Oilers, they double him quite a bit, which means that the tight end is getting one man covering him instead of two, and a lot of times it's a linebacker. And he has very fine speed. He'll run about a 4.6 40, which means that he's moving pretty good for a big man.
Pastorini has completed 7 passes in a row. 2nd and goal. He's going to throw it to Wilson. What a hit. Number 41, Norris Thomas, the left corner, greeting Wilson at the 4-yard line and did not allow him an inch forward.
You said greet him. You don't like those type of greetings. You know, you're giving greetings this time of the year, but he said, come in my area, mister, and you're going to pay for it. But this is a little play-action pass, trying to get Wilson in motion and just dump it out to him, hoping to get a step on the linebacker, which he did. But here comes Norris Thomas, number 41, making a real fine hit.
Ball at the 5, 3rd and goal. Pastorini has completed 8 straight passes. Crowd giving Pastorini some problems in his signal calling. Campbell. What a play! A.J. Dewey. Campbell slow getting up, loses 6 yards.
For a defensive lineman, what you want him to do on a sweep is get penetration. Number 77, A.J. Dewey, is doing just that. Nobody blocks him, or he sheds the block and comes up with a big tackle, making sure now they're going to have to go for 3 points instead of coming up with 6.
And Tony Frisch, like Garo Yepremian of Miami, has had a great year. He's missed only 4. Only 4. Look at that, 14 out of 18. 28-yard attempt. It's blocked. And listen to this crowd now. Camper got it.
Camper's done about everything you can ask of him today. He's made open field tackles. Coming up now with a big block of a field goal, and 3 points really is very important because they would have gone ahead by 3, which means Miami had to score a touchdown. Miami's defense is bent somewhat, but they don't give up that many touchdowns. At least they have not of late. In the last 3 ball games, Don Shula told me that he's really happy with the defensive unit. They're really playing very well together, and you must have defense if you're going to win championships.
Bo Camper is 6'6", and he leaped right in the middle of that line and got a piece of the ball. So first down, Miami at the 20 and a 7-7 tie. Delvin Williams outside for 7 yards to the 27. Clock running, 3.5 minutes remaining. First half. Good block by Leroy Harris to lead Williams around the corner.
Well, that was an excellent block because what Dell was doing, he was just following his fullback, number 38, Leroy Harris, and he provided an excellent block on the cornerback, giving Williams an inside lane to run, picking up about 7 yards, which is a good play. Anytime you pick up over 5 yards on first down or any down, that's a good play.
This game not as wild as the 35-30 Houston win in the Astrodome a month ago, but it's had plenty of excitement and a lot of big defensive plays. 2nd and 3. Harris, first down at the 34. Harris has had a good first half running the ball when he's been able to maintain possession, but he has had 2 critical fumbles.
Did you notice that time he had both arms locked around that football, because the one thing that he doesn't want to do is give it up again, because that really works on your mind. If you make a mistake like that and cough up the football, you start thinking about that rather than running with the ball.
As you were saying, thinking too much, Tony Frisch must be thinking, what do I do the next time? He planted a little thought in his mind. First down, Miami. He wants to go long. Broken up by Reinfeldt, who cut in front of Duriel Harris and got a piece of the ball.
Reinfeldt said, wait a minute, I should have been going the opposite direction with that ball, because he definitely, that was his. He was zeroed in on that. He guessed right. He was reading the pattern all the way with Duriel Harris coming in the middle, but he forgot one thing, and that's to intercept the ball.
You saw Reinfeldt and Wisconsin-Milwaukee. He will have the honor of being the only player ever to go into the pro ranks out of that school. They have no college football program anymore. Now he's it.
I mean, after he left, they decided to give it up.
I guess he could tell his friends that. Bob Griese, the counterpoint to Pastorini. He's not had a good first half. He wants to go long. And Harris can't make the catch at the 20. Well covered by Greg Stemrick, number 27 from Colorado State. What's that? Boobers.
Well, I think they're saying that Stemrick may have interfered with the offensive receiver, but once again the ball was underthrown a bit. If it had been underthrown a lot, then his man probably would have come up with the football, because the defensive man is watching. You can see Bob's putting everything that he has into that throw, and that's all the further it's going to go. I'm saying if it was a real bad throw, then Duriel Harris, 82, could have probably stopped and come back and made the catch.
Stemrick appeared to make a good defensive play.
Yes, he did. He was stride for stride with an outstanding receiver in Duriel Harris.
Approaching the 2-minute warning. We have 2 minutes 4 seconds left in this first half. A tie at 7. AFC wild card. Miami wins. They go to Pittsburgh. Houston wins. They go to New England. 3 wide receivers. 3rd and 10. Screen. Goulash. 35. No first down as he's hit at the 38-yard line, and Miami will have to give up the football. Timeout. 2-minute warning. Comes with 1 minute and 56 seconds left in the first half. The Oilers will be returning a punt from George Roberts. Miami 7 and Houston 7. And anticipating the kick from George Roberts.
Dick, he's worried because he has been letting that ball control him rather than he controlling that ball, because the last one he almost missed.
Not unlike a baseball infielder. You have to charge the ball and make the play yourself, not let the ball play you. He's one of many long shots on this Houston team.
Where did he
by
come
Kansas
from?
City.
Yes, he was out of Grambling. I know.
And of course they've got Durden. He was a concrete truck driver, walked in and says, give me a job. And how about Jim Young, starting defensive end? He was a fireman, still is in Houston.
He's starting a lot of fires out there now, that offensive line.
1:56 left in the half. A dying spiral. And he just let that one bounce. And Cornelius is going to let it roll. The Dolphins surrounded at the 12-yard line. Roberts' kicking has been a big factor for Don Shula this first half.
Well, he has done a great job, and as I said, Robert Woods, number 42, isn't controlling that ball. You can see he did the wise thing that time. He got out of the way. And a man that Roberts is doing a great job of getting it way up in the air with great height.
If Miami wins, we'll be chatting with you from Three Rivers Stadium next Saturday as the Dolphins will play the Steelers. And then it would be Denver at New England. If Houston wins, it'll be Denver at Pittsburgh Saturday, Houston at New England on Sunday. In the NFC, the Rams will host Minnesota on Sunday, and it will be Atlanta, Dallas on Saturday. Campbell, no gain, so Earl Campbell, that's his 13th carry of this first half, and he has only 14 yards rushing. Unfortunately, not hurt when he slipped on that what's the remnants of the carpet on the sidelines here in Miami.
It's kind of the way his afternoon has been going so far, though. Nothing has been there. Miami has done a great job of shutting him down. You know, those statistics are amazing because this man is, I think most people feel, the best running back in the National Football League.
Averaged nearly 5 yards a carry, 1,450 yards total. NFL rushing champion. Pastorini, however, has had a big day. Stays on the ground. Wilson. That was a trap off a pitch, and Wilson has near a first down.
You talk about Wilson. He also has rib problems. The whole starting backfield, Pastorini, Wilson, and also Earl Campbell, all have cracked ribs.
It's incredible, isn't it? Well, although you've had some too.
I've had some. You know, there's a lot of pain involved, but you still be able to run the way that you want to run. You just have to absorb a lot of pain. And a running back, if he's healthy, is going to take a lot of punishment because they're getting hit on every play. You can see what they want to do. They want to stand him up and strip him of that football. He's lucky that somebody didn't stick a headgear right in those ribs when they had him stood up like that.
It is a first down for Houston. We remind you to stay tuned at halftime. Mike Adamle here in Miami. Brian Gumbel back in New York. Guys have done a sensational job all year long. Pre, halftime, and post on NFL 78. That's at halftime. It's a 7-7 tie in case you joined us late. Griese to Andre Tillman, a 13-yard touchdown to give Miami a 7-0 lead after they recovered a Robert Woods fumble on a punt at the Houston 21. But Pastorini took the Oilers 71 yards in 9 plays late in the first quarter. Kept Tim Wilson a 13-yard throw to tie it at 7-7. Kim Beaucamper blocked a Tony Frisch field goal attempt from 28 yards in this second quarter to prevent an Oiler lead. Look at those statistics for Pastorini. That's a great first half.
Great, you know, for a healthy man. He's hurting.
Fake to Campbell, screen it to Wilson at the 20, at the 30, and out to the 33-yard line goes Tim Wilson. Appears he has another Houston first down. Clock running, 1:17 left in the half.
Well, they have a play called right now. It may be a wasted play. He may throw the ball out of bounds, but what he's fighting right now is the clock at 1 minute and 9 seconds and counting down.
Bum Phillips on the sidelines. Earl Campbell. No, it's Wilson out to the 40-yard line. Dick Enberg with Len Dawson. Orange Bowl in Miami. Clock stopped. Houston calls time with 1 minute, a second left in the half. 7-7 tie.
What he had there, he had 2 plays called in the huddle, which is when you talk about your 2-minute offense. He was calling 2 plays, and he probably said, well, all right, I'm going to call this screenplay. If it works, if we get a first down, line up, we're going to run this play. If it doesn't work, then come on back in the huddle, and we'll call another play.
Pastorini, 12 for 14. 9 consecutive completions for Pastorini. Baskets coming up on NBC. That's a good way to start it. Notre Dame and Kentucky, 11:30 in the evening next Saturday. And of course we'll have, once we get into January, a big game for you every Saturday and Sunday here on NBC, leading to the NCAA Tournament Championship in Salt Lake City late in March.
Notre Dame, Kentucky, both ranked in the top 10, aren't they?
Yeah, that'll be a great match. It's always a very physical game.
Something like this.
Pastorini looking for 10 in a row, and he wants to go deep. A flag is down. That's Burrow. And he was well covered by Volk and Small. Let's check the flag thrown by the linesman across the way. And Pastorini getting up slowly.
He was once again going for Kenny Burroughs and just hanging the ball up there high and hoping that Kenny could come up with another miraculous catch. He can do it because we saw him do it just a little while ago on the other side of the field.
Motion penalty against Houston with 53 seconds left in the half. That stops the clock. Again, Atlanta trailing 13-0 late in the third quarter. Rallied to beat Philadelphia 14-13, surviving a field goal try
86
by the Eagles.
Decline.
Late in the game in the final seconds. So the Atlanta Falcons of Lehman Bennett will go to Dallas for their next round in this postseason tournament. The Rams will host Minnesota. We gave you the vitals on this game.
They've got Robert Woods in the receiver position out there, and he has great speed. You don't be surprised. Look at that defensive end backing up.
And there's Woods on the flanker screen. He's out across the 45 to the 46. That's enough for the first down. The Oilers stop the clock with 46 seconds left in the half.
Number 42, Robert Woods. Now, he says he's 5'7", but we were looking at him. He must have had elevator shoes on, but he may be 5'7", but they picked him up because of necessity. Billy White Shoes Johnson went down with an injury. He was out for the year.
Mike Renfro, Eddie Foster. They lost 3 wide receivers this year.
They put him at a receiver position, and he had to learn the plays. I'm sure that they only told him a few plays. All right, you run deep, and I'm going to throw the ball to you. But he's come up with some touchdown catches this year. Very important catches. He made a big one last week, an impossible catch for a touchdown against San Diego.
Well, we knew he was short yesterday when we watched him work out. They wore their little trunks that they use for exercising, and his came down over his knees.
Everything is extra large on the football team, and for Robert Woods, it was really large.
Pastorini with 200 yards plus in this first half, a 7-7 tie. You see the seconds remaining, 46, and the ball is at the Houston 46-yard line.
He has time. He has time to get it down in position where at least get an opportunity for Tony Frisch to kick a field goal.
Under pressure. Oh, and it's caught by Barber. Barber at the 40, the 35, and out of bounds at the 28-yard line. Oh, that was a pinball machine at work. That ball was in and out of 4 different hands.
It's who is going to come up with it at the end is the important thing. Pastorini is under a lot of pressure. They had a 4-man rush this time, and he just does get it away as he gets hit. The ball is thrown high. There's one hand on it.
That was Wilson.
Gordon. Still keeping it alive. It's like volleyball.
Wilson again.
Wilson again. He had 2 shots at it. Still didn't come up with it. Barber finally coming up with it and makes a good move, not only to gain yards, but get out of bounds.
One of the new NFL rules in effect here in the playoffs. One teammate to another. A legal catch. And Houston is now at the Miami 27 with a first down. Wilson flag down, and so is Wilson at the 24. And the flag thrown in the backfield of the Oilers. And Bum Phillips must be thinking, uh-oh, must be off. Yep, holding.
Oh, the one thing offensively you do not want to do, particularly on a running play, is to come up with a holding call when you get down in field goal position. Particularly, you got 29 seconds remaining in the first half.
But there have been more and more holding calls on running plays than on pass plays this year with the liberalization of the rule. Some of the blockers who are able to use their hands protecting for the passer forget, and they wrap around on a run.
55, offense, still first down.
Veteran center Carl Mauck from Southern Illinois, guilty of the infraction.
You would think that Carl, all the years he's been around, would learn how to hold a little better. Don't make it so obvious.
Ball at the 36-yard line.
Just say, we don't mind you holding, just don't get caught.
Double wing. Pastorini to Woods. Beautiful pump fake by Pastorini. Woods had a step on his man. The pass just missed.
Well, that's the advantage of, say, a Kenny Burroughs with his great height. That here's a man that's 5'7", and the ball thrown that far over a defensive man has to be exactly on target. And one thing that Dan didn't want to do is come up throwing the ball short, make it too short and get an interception, because he at least wants an opportunity. He's got 22 seconds remaining, and anything can happen. A first down, and they're in field goal range.
Now, he wasn't going for 3 on that throw.
Well, a great pump fake to Kenny Burroughs on the left side, trying to hold the defensive backs, and then going to Robert Woods down the middle.
Barber split away on the right with Woods wide right. Burrow to the left. Woods. Did he catch it? Yes. At the 22-yard line, a legal catch. The fans didn't like it, but they say Woods had it long enough.
Well, he may be 5'7", but he looked 10 feet tall on that play, because there is a big catch. As you can see, the ball is thrown high, and he's got to go up after it. And it's right on the sidelines. He knows he's going to get nailed. And you could see his head there following that football and concentrating on it.
Oh, he didn't have it for long, did he? You can see why some of the fans were upset. Woods, who was out of football for a couple of months, came to the Oilers just 3 games ago, and that's his 8th catch since joining Houston.
You could see on that last play, Dan Pastorini was not looking at his receiver. He was looking the other way, and the last second came back and threw it to Robert Woods.
No time taken as Woods goes off the field, and there's also an injured Dolphin on the play. It appears to be Norris Thomas, number 41. That could be a severe blow. This quarter, Dan Pastorini has passed for 174 yards. Now you can put that into perspective.
Well, I'm telling you what has happened. That the one thing that he didn't want to have to do is rely on the passing game. He was hoping that the running game with Earl Campbell would click and take some of the pressure off him, because he knows that, you know, they had to piece him together to get him out here. But he has had to do it.
Let's see if you carry that out over 4 quarters. We're talking about a game in which he'd be throwing around 600 yards.
That would be a record.
Tony Frisch anticipating a possible shot at a Houston lead at halftime with 14 seconds left. Thomas comes to the sidelines, replaced by Charles Cornelius, 44. You know Pastorini has sized up that substitution.
I'll tell you, Tony Frisch last time had it blocked, and he's thinking to himself, I've got to get the ball up in the air if I get an opportunity to kick.
Now Thomas is okay. He stays in at the left corner. Looking for Burrow to the 6-yard line. 8 seconds, 7, and now Houston has to hurry. They may not get a field goal away.
Bad play.
3, 2, 1. Did he get it away in time? Wait for the official to signal. Is the half over or not? The Dolphins obviously are leaving the field. Houston doesn't want to go. No word yet. And a flag goes down. Someone said something that the official didn't like. And that will be imposed at the start of the second half unless we still have a play left. Mom Phillips is saying, did he stop the clock in time with that pass?
Well, I'll tell you, they had more than 11 men on the field anyway, because the field goal team came on. The offense was staying out there trying to get rid of the football, but they shouldn't have thrown that. If they were going to throw the football, it should have been into the end zone, because they just didn't have enough time to get another play off if he was stopped short of the goal line.
Interestingly, Bum Phillips has almost all of his Houston team on the field, and almost every Dolphin player is back in the locker room already. As far as they're concerned, it's over. They're going to influence their team, and all the players you see on the field belong to Houston. Bum Phillips, in all of his Texas wisdom, trying to figure this one out.
Well, I'll tell you what, Carl Mock better cool down a little bit down there. They could throw him out of the football game, and that will do Houston no good whatsoever. You can plead your case with the men in the striped shirts, but they're going to make the final decision.
Isn't it ironic, Glenn, that here's Pastorini in one of the outstanding quarters ever in playoff history, and yet another completed pass caused the problem?
Yes, but I think what Dan should have done is gone deep, going to the end zone, because he took away an opportunity to kick a field goal.
Or did he? The officials have not given any official signal yet. I'd love to be eavesdropping on this one. Here we go. Referee Dick Jorgensen.
Illegal motion on the offense. Offensive foul. Last play of the half. After the half was over, unsportsmanlike conduct on the offense. We will start the second half with a 15-yard penalty on the kickoff.
That's pouring salt in the wound for the Oilers. Bum Phillips' team denied a chance at a last-second field goal. Instead, are slapped with a 15-yard penalty. Will start the second half in the hole. Well, the tumult of this first half is over, ladies and gentlemen. At the intermission at the Orange Bowl in Miami, the Dolphins 7, the Oilers 7. 20-yard line after that 15-yard unsportsmanlike conduct penalty. Duriel Harris for Miami at the 21. 7-7 tie. Harris to the 40, all the way to the 48-yard line. Hurdling over tacklers, and the stop made by Al Johnson along with C.L. Whittington. So Miami, thanks to that 15-yard penalty at the end of the first half, starts in good field position.
Dick, I think you can see right away what this game means to the players out there, because that move right there could put you in a hospital trying to hurdle people that are about 6'5". But they want this game very badly on both sides of that line of scrimmage.
You see the first half statistics dominated by Houston, but the score is 7-7. Griese did not have a particularly good first half. Elvin Williams gets 3 yards to the Houston 49. The Devil, they call him. Greg Bingham, number 54, made the stop. Kiner also in on the pile. Dick Enberg, Len Dawson. Second half, sudden death. The playoffs, the second season, they call it.
Well, it's been a strange first half because the ball changed hands several times and also some unusual plays, ending up at the end of the half. Houston was penalized 15 yards for unsportsmanlike conduct.
Griese's first attempt of the second half. He's got a man open. Harris. First down at the 30 of Houston.
I'll tell you that number 82, Daryl Harris, is considered one of the best pattern movement in the National Football League. Besides, he's got great speed. Now, Griese's getting great protection. You see number 67, Bob Kuchenberg, looking for somebody. It was a timing pattern. He threw it back way up in front of him. You can see the offensive line. Curly Culp getting very little penetration at all. If he gets by him, there's somebody else to greet him. And somebody else is number 68, Eric Laxall.
He's a young man from Tulane filling in for the injured Larry Little. Nothing there for Leroy Harris as he tries the center of the line. Curly Culp, 3 times All-Pro. He's made the Pro Bowl again this year. 5th time for Culp, who was drafted first by Denver and was a teammate then of Len Dawson with the Kansas City Chiefs in their Super Bowl year.
He's such a great player, and we said earlier that when the games get very important and very tough, Curly is there. Now, the last time 2 men blocked him, but that time he came up with a big play. For Curly, he takes quite a beating in there. Although he's a big man, he's always getting hit by at least 2 men on every play.
Norm Bulage, 31, replaces Harris. Griese again. Good protection. Almost intercepted. Tillman was open, but Mike Reinfeld had the ball thrown to him. Check that, Bill Courier. It's Courier, 20, who had a shot at an interception.
They came with a linebacker that time trying to put pressure on Bob Griese, but this is not a good throw because number 87, Andre Tillman, he's the guy faking outside, coming across. He has his man beat. You can see right there, but the pass is thrown way behind him, and no one's more surprised than number 87, Andre Tillman.
Do you think Griese thought that he was going to cut inside rather than outside?
No, I don't think so. I think it's just a poorly thrown ball.
3rd down and 9. 3 wide receivers, Moore, Cephalo, and Harris, with the tight end Tillman out. Intercepted. Stemrick. Greg Stemrick is tackled back inside the 10-yard line by Nat Moore. Stemrick, who had 3 interceptions on the regular season, and Houston has stopped Miami again. It's been the defense allowing both teams to move up and down the field, but inside that 20, no, sir.
I'll tell you, Bob Griese would like to have this ball back because it took off on him. It's not a good throw. It's high, as you can see. He was going for Nat Moore, and there's just no way that he could come up with the ball. And when a ball is tipped in the secondary, if you run a good pattern, there's only 1 offensive man there and generally 2 defensive men.
We'll be back. Houston will have the ball at the 9-yard line early in the second half. Sundown, and that's the beginning of the Hanukkah celebration. All of our Jewish friends, we wish you a very special holiday, and of course a Merry Christmas to all tomorrow. Up the middle, and a flag goes down, and so does Tim Wilson after about a 5-yard gain. Bob Baumhauer, 73, made the hit. It is holding against Houston.
Well, I think the last 2 running plays that they've had, one before the half and this one, they've come up with a holding penalty. And on a running play, and that's a situation where that should not happen. And a lot of things shouldn't happen, but they do happen. That's why it's such a crazy game.
Holding number 73, offense.
Greg Sampson, the left tackle from Stanford, regarded as the best offensive lineman in an outstanding offensive line. Again, this line protected Pastorini better than any line protected its quarterback. Pastorini was sacked only 17 times Wilson breaks it out to the 20. He's all the way to the 26-yard line and a first down. Tim Wilson, 220 pounds of running back, and a big play for the Oilers.
You asked me at halftime what that 15-yard penalty might do to the Houston Oilers football team. Do one of two things, and what I thought it really would fire them up emotionally. Now here's an outstanding job done by that offensive line that you were just talking about, and look, he's grabbing that football. But defensively, they're trying to strip him. You see Charlie Babb there trying to get a hold. Also Foley, they're trying to strip that ball from him, but he's doing a good job of holding on.
Wilson, 20 yards on that carry. Play action fake. Looking for Burrow, could be intercepted. But Pastorini threw it so no one could catch it. What an arm.
His arm is so strong that he threw it so far. I know that Burrows is about 5 yards away from those two defensive backs back there, and he threw it by the defensive backs.
Glenn, looking at the first half statistics, brilliant numbers for Pastorini throwing, but the contrast, the running game for Houston, as Earl Campbell gained only 16 yards in 13 attempts and 17 yards for Wilson.
Well, they're trying to figure out something over there, something that's going to work. The defensive unit, the coach gathers the defensive backs, and the defensive backfield coach will get him over there and go over some things that they think they may have to make an adjustment. Now, this could be making an adjustment here during the half. And it gets right down the way you did it when you were a kid, getting out in the dirt, drawing it up there and say, okay, you go here and you go there.
You take the guy in the red shirt, I'll take this guy over here. Wilson, short yardage. Center of that Miami defense, tough against the run all day. Ben Herter and Baumhauer made the stop.
Well, what you're looking at, Dick, I think is they're using Earl Campbell as a camouflage back there because he has yet to get his hands on the ball in the second half. He did absolutely nothing in the first half. And they're thinking that perhaps Miami is keying on him so much that maybe Wilson would have a better opportunity to get open.
47, Ronnie Coleman is in for Campbell. So Wilson and Coleman behind Pastorini. 3rd and 7. Almost intercepted. Foley leaping high in front of Norris Thomas and may have blinded the view of Thomas and going for the interception himself, but the defense stops Houston.
Well, Dan Pastorini is a tough individual. He knows going back there throwing, he's going to take some licks. And, brother, there it is. The right ribs, the right knee, the right ankle, the right elbow. He's down, but not for long because he jumped right back up and got off the field.
Now Ben Herter and company force Houston into a punting situation. Matt Moore stands at the 33. Parsley's kick, a good one. Moore, fair catch all the way back at the 22-yard line of the Dolphins. That's a whale of a punt by Cliff Parsley. Timeout, 10:50 left in the third quarter. Houston 7, Miami 7. Fiesta Bowl, then on New Year's Day, the Rose and Orange Bowl. Also next weekend, 2 AFC playoff games.
There's also going to be a big game down here on the 21st of January in the Orange Bowl.
Super Bowl on the 21st. Leroy Harris with a block. On to the 28-yard line where Brazil and Willie Alexander team up on the stop. Leroy Harris in the first half led all rushers with 37 yards.
Good cutback by number 38, Leroy Harris. He was trying to get outside. It wasn't there, so he planted that right foot and dashed inside, picking up a good gain. 4 or 5 yard gain on first down. Bob Griese will take that right there. He's planting his foot because the outside was not there.
Second down and a long 5 for the Dolphins. Delvin Williams for a couple. Maybe only a yard before Jim Young, number 77, and Ted Washington, 59, make the hit.
Number 19, Willie Alexander of the Houston Oilers came up to force that play and turned it back inside, but we're talking about Pastorini being hurt and everybody else with a rib problem. Well, here's a man that just had the wires taken out of his jaw. He had a broken jaw, and he's out there playing with a broken jaw. I talked to him yesterday, and I said, one thing, does it hurt? And he said, well, no, the pain goes away. The only time it hurts is when somebody catches one on me.
That old joke, only when I smile. Huh? There's Willie
excellent pass receiver. Bob isolated him on the linebacker. He got a step on him. The linebacker tried to catch up. But Bulash had that step and enough speed. Ball was right on target. You can see the linebacker trying to catch up. He knew that was his man.
Yeah, Bulash is from the Houston area, from Lamarck, Texas, about 25-30 minutes from Houston. Duriel Harris, also a Houston area resident, and of course Delvin Williams is from Houston, Texas. So there's a good representation on this Miami team. Here's Harris, almost on cue. He's out of bounds at the 46-yard line. Good pickup on first down.
Yes, sir. Number 19, Willie Alexander, giving number 82, Duriel Harris, a lot of room. Bob Griese read that, and I'm sure what happens is the receivers will come back to the huddle and they'll tell their quarterback, hey, that guy's off me 8 or 10 yards. But he's lining up and he's taking a step back as soon as the ball is snapped. He's like, the quick out I can get. You need that information as a quarterback from your receivers. When you get that, you get working together, that's when you get a good passing combination.
You didn't mind your receivers talking to you coming back to the huddle then?
Hey, they always said I was wide open.
That's the problem. They're all open, aren't they?
Yes.
2nd and 2. Williams close to a first down at the 48 of Miami. They'd have to measure on this one. Steve Kiner, 57. Washington, 59 in on the stop. And they're going to bring in the chain gang for the measurement. That'll give us a chance to repeat the final score in the wild card NFC Championship in Atlanta. The Falcons, another come from behind win, 14-13 over Philadelphia. Heartbreak for the Eagles and another heart stopper for the Falcons.
Nick Vermeil, I thought, did really a great job this year coaching the Philadelphia Eagles team, getting them to the playoffs. And came so very close. Field goal was missed with a couple of seconds in the ball game that could have won it for them.
Go back to Delvin Williams picking up the first down, Len.
Well, here you are. Your fullback is out in front providing a key block, or trying to provide a key block, I should say. Teddy Washington played it real well, but what he wanted was just a couple of yards enough for the first down, and he was fortunate enough to pick it up.
8 minutes left, third quarter. 7-7 tie. Little safety valve pass as Griese went down. Brazil, who may be the hardest hitter of that linebacking core, popped Griese from behind.
I'm telling you, number 52, Robert Brazil, went right over Delvin Williams. You're going to take a look at it right here. And what it's like to play quarterback. That's his blind side. He has no idea. He knows that he's got blocking over there, but Brazil just throws him out of the way. Bob releases the ball, and now that hurts. And he has a bad knee. Remember that. He's wearing a brace himself on a knee that was injured prior to the season.
Fans might be wondering, hey, that's a clip, but when you have the ball, it isn't.
No,
Any other time it's
all's
a clip.
fair when you got a hold of that pigskin.
2nd down and 10. Bulash replaces Harris. Pass situation. Williams. Nice cut. First down at the 41. Beautiful move by Williams. He set up his blockers.
Oh, he does that very, very well. He'll glide along that line of scrimmage until he sees the opening. And he can do that because he knows that the tremendous burst of speed that he has. What Bob Griese caught them doing that time, they were coming with the blitz, which means they were going for Griese 7 or 8 yards deep. And so consequently, there isn't the pursuit laterally. Now, I said before, number 89, Nat Moore 82, they're not receivers, they're ends. Part of their job is to help those running backs to block, and he does a great job.
It was not a first down, just short. 3rd down and about a foot. Offside. First down anyway at the 40-yard line as Bulash took it in. Now we'll check whether Houston was offside or whether it was procedure against Miami.
It looked like Houston jumped off sides because Bob Griese was altering his cadence at the line of scrimmage. You have about 6 men down in a short yardage situation. They're thinking one thing, I've got to stop this run, stop this first down.
Can you give us an idea of how he alters that cadence? Give us a
Well, he might be on a hut count. He may go hut, 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 which is rhythmic. But then all of a sudden he may go hut, hut, hut. Just get those defensive men a little edgy. And Bob does a great job of that.
The Dolphins' least penalized team in the entire National Football League, and they've not committed a foul yet in this critical game.
You mean they haven't been caught?
Only 78 penalties in 16 games. That's
amazing.
Remarkable. But Don Shula Even in practice, if he sees someone offside or holding, he gets on him right then. He's really a stickler for it.
Well, most penalties are concentration, just like that last penalty. The defensive lineman is supposed to look at that ball. When the ball moves, you move, not before.
More in motion. First down at the 37. Delvin Williams. Great balance. Bill Courier dragged him down at the 28. And that's the Williams that Miami fans have cheered all season long.
Well, he did a great job of running, and some good. Whenever you get yardage like that, that means somebody is out in front doing a job of blocking. Now here you got a man in motion trying to get the defense to move over that way. 31, Norm Boulash. There's a big block providing that seam that he was able to jump through. Now his great quickness got him into that seam, but he had a good block from number 31, Norm Boulash. Where'd you say he was from?
Boulash is from TCU, just outside of hometown, just outside of Houston, Lamarck, Texas.
Well, he knows his people are watching him. He better do that.
Boulash and the Oilers were watching 31 that time. We pause briefly for station identification from Miami. This is the NBC Television Network.
AXAS TV 5, Fort Worth, Dallas.
Dick Enberg with Len Dawson. The Orange Bowl in Miami. The AFC wild card game. Both teams scored in the first quarter, and it's been dead even since. 7-7. Yepremian has not had a chance to kick a field goal. He has 16 in a row in regular season play, 7 in a row in playoff action.
Yes, I do remember Gary Yepremian as a field goal kicker. He was really booming him yesterday, too.
Reverse to Moore. What a move. Look at him. Cat-like moves of Ned Moore. First down, Miami.
I'll tell you, the versatility of this young man is amazing because he can do so many. He knows the entire offense. This is a great situation to run this reverse. Now watch this move right there. The fake inside, jumping outside. Now he's not through yet. Sacrificing, doing anything you can to get as much yardage as you possibly can. Great situation to call this play. He broke away from number 52, Robert Griese, and that is an accomplishment.
First down, Miami, a 7-7 tie, 5.5 minutes left in the third quarter. Intended for Moore. He drew a crowd. Kiner was back there, so was Reinfeldt and Stemrick.
I'll tell you, though, that pass by Bob Griese looked like it had as much velocity and authority on it as anyone that he's thrown so far today.
The professorial appearing quarterback of the Dolphins. They call him Peabody's his nickname, Mr. Peabody.
But he fired that ball, unfortunately for Miami, it was a little high, and Nat Moore really never had a chance to come up with it.
Moore saying, hey, give me a blow here.
Here's nervous time. Here is nervous time now. You know, this is, look at this, where field goal kickers go through. And he's saying over there, Bob, please get him in for a score. Get 6.
Second down and 10. For Tillman, Bill Courier, safety from South Carolina, made the play.
Once again, I said that the last pass he threw had great velocity. This one did not. Number 87, Tillman, he's getting single coverage, and he's beaten that man about 3 times, but the ball is thrown behind him once again.
So from the 21-yard line, it is 3rd and 10, and Yepremian is 1 down closer to coming in for a field goal attempt. Houston counters with a prevent defense, looking for the pass, and Don Shula sends in Jimmy Cefalo, 81, to join Moore and Harris as wide receivers. Tillman stays in. Delvin Williams goes out. So 4 receivers, 1 running back.
They're trying to spread out that defense because they have additional people in there. Here comes Nat Moore. He's going to come way out as a flanker.
Good protection. Tillman broken up by 25. Curtain off in as an extra defensive back. So here comes Yepremian. 16 in a row regular season, and he's made 7 straight in playoff duty. To give Miami the lead at 5-11, Yepremian is going to have to kick one about 38 yards. The last time he missed a field goal was a game they did with Merlin Olsen in New England. That seemed way months and years ago.
Well, 16 in a row, that had to be. He's used to this pressure. He's used to playoff competition, so this situation should not bother Yepremian at all.
38 yards out of Strock's hold. No good. He misses to the left. All good things come to an end. 5:06 left. The Oilers, the Dolphins, each with a field goal chance to take the lead, have failed. And watch Garrow. He knew it as soon as he kicked it.
Well, he didn't follow through.
Timeout. We'll be back. Houston's ball, 7-7 tie. No fiesta on that kick, but it'll be a Fiesta Bowl tomorrow. Arkansas, UCLA, 3:30 Eastern time on NBC. Yepremian has not had many lonely moments in this 78 season.
You notice when they make a field goal, everybody comes and claps on their back, but if they miss it, nobody talks to the field goal kicker on the sideline.
Jan Centerud, your teammate, I'd like you to relate that incident, that double overtime. You got a chance. Earl Campbell. Who's got it? Houston recovers the ball. Carl Mock, 55, the right man in the right spot for the Oilers.
Well, I'll tell you, that was a lucky break for the Houston Oilers because he was really popped when he came through that line of scrimmage. That's the first time he's had the opportunity to run. Here's number 83, Vern Den Herter. Mid-block, but here's the hit right there, and it hits the football with the headgear, and it's gone flying. Unfortunately for Houston, as I said, it landed right back where Mock could pick it up.
Campbell again. 28-yard line, short of the first down. But you have that feeling, Len Dawson, that Campbell, who has been kept in check throughout this game, is ready to break one.
Well, he's like a caged lion, you know. You know eventually it's going to happen, but the way he was carrying that football that time, he must have huge hands because he was just carrying it in the open hand, you know, waving it around.
The man who discovered pantyhose to hold those big muscles in place says it's prevent him from pulling the hamstring as a junior at Texas. He'd like to stretch one out. It's 3rd down and 2. Campbell again. First down. And the last man got him. Charlie Babb, Bulldog Campbell down at the 41-yard line, or he was gone.
Well, you were saying, when's it going to happen? You know it's going to happen. This short yardage situation, and you'll see they're coming. Vern is just burying himself down there. But a good block by the offensive line. You get this man in this. Don't grab him with like number 41 Thomas did with his hands. You're not going to bring him down with hands. You better put some pads on him. But there's the seam. There's the hole. And thank goodness for Charlie Babb, or he's gone.
Houston moving on the ground. Fumble! And recovered by 45. Wilson, the man who fumbled. So the Oilers living right in this drive. Campbell and Wilson have both fumbled, but the Oilers pounce on the loose ball with 3 minutes left in the quarter.
You're really right. They're living right. Something's going right because that ball is bouncing their way. And on that type of turf, it can go in any direction. Not like synthetic turf, where generally on synthetic turf, you'll get a true bounce. That's why baseball teams like to play on synthetic turf.
Campbell giving a breather. Ronnie Coleman in with Wilson. 2nd down and 9. A gain of a yard on the fumble. Blitz is on. And Coleman gets out to the 44. Larry Gordon shot in from his linebacker spot, but the play was inside Gordon. For short yardage, it'll be 3rd down and 7.
Yeah, but number 50, Gordon was the man that disrupted that whole thing with his penetration. He messed up the timing. They didn't want to cut it off inside as quickly as they did, giving A.J. Dewey an opportunity to come up with the tackle.
They call him an A student. Aggressive and active and agile.
Angry.
Gordon ducking in on the line of scrimmage. Give it to Wilson. He's got a first down, but there's a penalty flag down. Wilson driving all the way to the Miami 43. Now let's check the penalty call. Dick Jorgensen to signal against Miami. So Houston will decline that one and take the first down. The first Dolphin penalty of the game. Wilson ripped off a good gainer, and it's first down Oilers at the 43.
I talked about Nat Moore, Daryl Harris, that they're not receivers, they're ends. Number 00, Kenny Burroughs. Now this, he's not hurting anybody out there, but that is an excellent block, providing a lane for his running back to run inside.
Get in the way, shield them.
That's right. Stay on your feet, go after people, peck at them, do anything you can do.
Pastorini to Campbell. Oh, he's running like a terror now. Down to the 39-yard line. Those are different shoes than the rest of the Oilers are wearing. Were they high tops now? Check Campbell when he gets up. Those aren't the same shoes he was wearing in the first half.
Well, he maybe figured, hey, those didn't work. And you remember in the first half he was slipping a little bit. Might be a different type of cleat on there.
He's been a first down runner all season long, and he picked up nearly 5 on that carry. Campbell again, breaking tackles. First down at the 28-yard line. And for the first time in the game, Campbell and the Oiler running game working at top speed.
Dick, that was a great run. You take a look and see the great balance that this big man has. Because look how low he is to the ground right now. But he trips over his own man. Looks like a lot of backs would go down. But he keeps those feet moving and those legs pumping. Comes right back up, and now he's going full stride right through the secondary.
They say the second half, those tacklers who have paid the price in hitting Campbell all day, sometimes Campbell wears you down the way tacklers try to slow down the ball carrier. He punishes you. Reverse and a pass. Barber. Yeah, they didn't have a good grip. He threw that one in the ground.
He was an ex-quarterback in high school, right? And he was out here practicing yesterday throwing. There must have been a reason behind that. We should have asked him if he was going to throw the ball.
Now Barber shaved that one a little tight. 29 seconds remaining in the third quarter. Fiesta Bowl tomorrow, 3:30 Eastern Time. Arkansas's Razorbacks against the UCLA Bruins. Lou Holtz will be mic'd for the game. You'll hear all of his comments. Terry Donahue's fine UCLA team. After your Christmas morning, enjoy some football here on NBC.
Should be a great game.
Final seconds of the third quarter. Pastorini under a big rush. Threw it away. You would have thought that Norris Thomas, 41, was the intended receiver. He fought to get to the ball.
I don't think had he caught it, he'd have been able to keep both feet in bounds. Dan had the pressure on him. The blitz was on. He knew he wasn't going to have time to work a pattern downfield with Kenny Burroughs. So he just unloaded. With that strong arm, he was capable of throwing it out of the park.
Norris Thomas, a talented football family, a couple of brothers, Glenn and Patty, defensive backs at the University of Pittsburgh. He was in the same defensive backfield as Oakland's Ray Guy of Southern Mississippi. 3rd and 10.
There's another great athlete, Ray Guy.
Camper's second sack. He's also blocked a field goal. He has been the Dolphins' star on defense.
He sure has, and I know that Ronnie Coleman was standing there with his arms on his hips. And here it is, the blitz coming to the outside. Ronnie, that's your man, Ron. Hardly even slowed him down, and Pastorini once in getting sacked and went down.
See, Larry Gordon, it was almost a crack the whip effort. Gordon started him off by grabbing Beaucamper by the arm. Watch 50 Gordon. He'll take Beaucamper and crack the whip him into the backfield.
47 is supposed to block him.
Either. The end of the third quarter in Miami's Orange Bowl. 15 minutes or more to go. It's a new game as we start the fourth period. Houston 7 and statistically, but the game is tied at 7. A fake. Who's got it? At the 30. At the 23-yard line, short of the first down, is number 39, Larry Poole, the ex-Cleveland Brown runner. Miami will get the ball anyway, but not a bad place to try.
No, that was the opportunity to do it, because even if it's not successful, Miami's not going to have that great a field position. And the way that the kicker's been kicking, he's been kicking into the end zone, so it's going to come out to the 20 anyway. So maybe they gave up 3 yards. It was worth the chance.
Poole gained about 10, but it was 4th and 14.
So razzle-dazzle, but number 50, Gordon, once again, he's staying at home by staying at home, playing his position.
Two outside linebackers, Gordon and Bocamper. Outstanding play for Miami again today. Tillman lines up left. Bulash and Williams behind Griese. Bulash. Not much. Ted Washington. Jim Young made the tackle. Here's that address again for your tax-deductible contribution to help our American Olympic athletes. U.S. Olympics, Post Office Box 1980 N, Cathedral Station, Boston 02118. We're drawing ever closer to the Olympic Games in Moscow 1980, and we hope you'll feel more a part of it by making your tax-deductible contribution. Well, they started way back in July. And one of these teams will go home, their season over. At the moment, a 7-7 tie. And a fine defensive tackle by the veteran Willie Alexander. Open field. Alexander, he was isolated. He had to make the stop, or Harris gains about 15 or more.
If he did not make that stop, the offensive guard was coming around and picking up the safety man. That was Laxo. And so it was one-on-one with Alexander against Duriel Harris. And I'll tell you, defensive backs do not want one-on-one with Duriel Harris. But he made a fine play.
Textbook tackle, the ball at the 26-yard line. 3rd and 7. Moore in the backfield, lined up at left halfback. Watch Moore. Griese's looking for him. He finds him short of the first down at the 30. Greg Bingham was watching number 89 too.
They are well aware of number 89, Matt Moore. And hopefully he's okay. That he's saying that he's all right.
I think he's more disappointed in the fact that
he's disappointed that he didn't go far enough. Now, outstanding receivers like Matt Moore know you go far enough to make the first down. See, he didn't get deep enough. He misjudged the yardage out there. He should have gone maybe 5 yards further. And if he makes the catch, he's at the first down territory.
Robert Woods, who was a recreation leader in Little Rock, Arkansas a month ago, but wearing number 42 of the Oilers, stands back at the 25-yard line as Roberts, who's been an outstanding kicker, almost a 48-yard average, gets ready to root it out of there.
I'm sure Robert Woods is saying, how about kicking it a little lower this time? Give me a chance to run it back.
Low snap and no pressure. Those are a little easier to handle. The 20, the 25, down at the 30-yard line. Tackle made by 57, Sean Clancy, a reserve linebacker. Timeout. 12:43 remaining. Oilers 7, Miami 7. Ball begin from the 30th. And throughout the early months of 1979, follow the NCAA's top teams on NBC. Out to about the 32-yard line. You saw Pastorini. He was 16 for 21 in the first half, 261 yards. That's a total that most quarterbacks would take for a whole game.
Very happy, but that was the first half. Right now he is 0 for 4. Now Miami went into that dressing room, and I know what the coaches are saying. Hey, we've got to stop this man. Let's put some pressure on him. They've been blitzing Dan Moore here in the second half than they did in the first half.
He spreads out his receivers in this formation. And it's play action to Campbell. 40. Almost fumbled, got to the 45-yard line, a first down for Houston.
It's a good play action fake to Earl Campbell. When the defensive linebacker saw that he didn't have the ball, then they kind of forgot about him. He just went downfield about 8 yards, turned around, he was wide open.
Gifford Nielsen, the backup quarterback to Pastorini, number 14. A lot of had a way to go. He doesn't.
Hey, you better believe it. You can see Earl Campbell right here. The linebackers forgot about him. Gordon was blitzing at the time, but he was wide open. He knew how far he had to go. And you can see him plant and go upfield right now. He knew he had to pick up a couple of yards for a first down.
Flanker screen to Burrow. 45, out of bounds at the 46. They gained but a yard as they got number 76, Morris Towns, out there to help the flanker, Bob Griese. What do you think he's thinking now?
I know what he's thinking. He's calculating. He's looking out. He's not really paying that much attention to what's going on the field right now. He's thinking about the plays that he's going to call, what they've been showing him here in the second half, any adjustments that he might have to make. He's thinking about what he's going to do when he gets back on the field.
Look who's closest to him, 89, Nat Moore. That might be a clue.
And that's saying, get the ball to me. Don't worry about it. I'll take care of it from there.
2nd and 9. Burrow. He's got a first down at the Miami 43-yard line. Pastorini has the Oilers on the move. The Oilers have dominated the game statistically since the middle of the first quarter.
Well, I'll tell you, this ball was well thrown. Now, here's his primary receiver, his favorite receiver, I should say, led them in receptions. Just hooking up. Now, the timing has to be such because number 49, Charlie Babb, is there. Now, if it would have been a little late, he had been in a position to break up the play.
Burrow playing to his notices with 6 catches. First down at the 43. Here comes Campbell. Nothing much there. Maybe a yard or two for Earl. Vern Denherter, All-Pro in 75. Out of Central Iowa, 9th-round draft pick. He excels against the run. He shows you why in that play. He's a lot of man to block. 6'6" and 252.
Well, they've been trying to go to his side many times with no success whatsoever so far. The only problem is when they go the other way, they're looking at Dewey and Gordon.
Campbell is out. Robert Woods, an extra receiver, is in. Only one running back, Wilson, behind Pastorini. Wide open is Barber, and he can hurt you when he runs. He's to the 23 and a first down for the Oilers.
Mike Barber wasn't trying to finesse anybody, was he? He got a hold of that ball, and he was going to get as much yards as he possibly can into a zone defense that time for the Miami Dolphins, and he was standing on the sidelines. A lot of times what happens is you get over there near the sidelines as a tight end, they forget about you. Linebacker Steve Toe trying to guard him. He picked up the first down.
Barber, he's quite a team spirit guy.
His name is Barber. He looks like he needs a shave.
The Oilers into field goal range. And here's Campbell. Again, Denherter, Beaucamper, and Rusty Chambers, 51, in on the hit. Bum Phillips. He's a player's coach.
Well,
they love him.
He sure is. We were out here at practice yesterday, and you know, there's a very loose, not undisciplined, but a loose, easy come, easy go type of situation with the players out here, and they seem to be enjoying it, which is great to see. The players out here enjoy practicing, enjoy being here, enjoy playing in the game.
Campbell, boy, that's an understatement. Rookie, Texas. He appears to be okay. The indestructible Earl Campbell takes a breather. That'll mean Ronnie Coleman is in the backfield. 2nd down and 8.
They have to get an opportunity down here to come up with some points. An opportunity means that he can't afford a loss throwing the ball or an interception.
Less than 9 minutes remain. Wilson to the 20, where it will be 3rd and 6. Bob Baumhauer, 73, from Alabama, the second year. Denherter teamed up on the tackle.
One thing about this natural turf out here, the players get dirty. You get on synthetic turf, the uniforms are always clean.
Bum Phillips into his first playoffs. Bum is 55. He must feel 85 at the moment. Crowd chants defense. Blitz. Wilson short of the first down. They ran away from the blitz, but they didn't get away from Baumhauer and Dewey. And 53, Bob Matheson. Here's Tony Frisch, his second field goal attempt. The other was blocked from 28 yards away. This one will be 35 yards out.
You know, Dan Pastorini is the holder. I mentioned this earlier for Tony Frisch. Tony is accustomed to Dan holding and accustomed to all the things that he does. And it may not be much difference than Nielsen, the way he holds, but it all works on your mind.
It's good. The Oilers Oilers take the lead for the first time in the game as Frisch hits it right down the middle. Daryl Yepremian, he may have a chance later to tie it. But the Oilers celebrate their first lead in this game, and that was a great kick.
I said before, when you make them, everybody claps you on the shoulders. They're all happy for you.
We'll be back. 7:25 remaining. Houston leads 10-7. With Houston in front 10-7. You see it from the receiver's angle. Nat Moore waiting at the 5-yard line. Three-yard line. No, it's Duriel Harris. 20, blockers, 30, 40, tripped up at the 43-yard line. Oh, he had his sights set on that goal line at the other end of the field.
He was saying, I'll do it myself. It's only 100 yards down there. I can get that far. But what an exciting run back. Return man Duriel Harris. Remember, he was hurdling. The last kickoff, he tried to hurdle about 4 players.
Bob Griese brings his team onto the field.
That's full go right there. He's not holding anything back. Trips up over his own man, and he knows he can get up and run.
Although they did spot it back at the 42 when he went down. Harris left, Moore right. Here's Griese to throw. Intercepted. Bingham at the 50. Tackled immediately by Boulash. Houston has its second interception, and the Oilers are in the driver's seat.
He was trying to go to Duriel Harris. Duriel Harris was hooking or curling behind the linebacker, but he didn't get it up high enough. Really a great interception by number 54 out of Purdue University, Greg Bingham.
Bingham did not have an interception all year. Oilers ball, 7:05 left. Houston 10, the Dolphins 7. As Griese, you can see him holding that right side after throwing the football.
Yes, that was right. That was the spot where he's got the torn cartilage in the rib area.
Don Strock, who actually threw more touchdown passes than Griese this year, so he did a good job early in the year when Bob was hurt, tuning up on the sidelines. But it's Houston's ball at the 49. Pastorini, incomplete. Little Robert Woods hit hard by Norris Thomas. Don't forget, after our game, NFL Sperry Report, highlights of this game, and we're 7 minutes away from the end of this fourth quarter. A 10-7 Houston lead. There's the man who intercepted that last pass, Greg Bingham.
Well, yeah, there's one Boilermaker to another, but Griese didn't want to throw that to that particular Boilermaker.
2nd and 10. Griese appears to be okay. Campbell outside, all the way to the 30-yard line, and a first down. That was not unlike the run that he pulled off late in the game in the Astrodome when he went 81 yards for a touchdown.
That was a very similar one to the same side over there. And look at the acceleration on this man, because he goes outside. Beaucamper, number 58, never had a chance because of that great speed of number 34, Earl Campbell. Kept saying that when is it going to happen? You know, when's he going to break one? You know, he's out there and gets the ball off enough he's going to.
Houston 10, Miami 7, 6 minutes, 20 seconds left. Campbell again to the 25-yard line, a gain of 5. Shula spurring his Dolphin defense from the near sideline.
Well, this is really an important drive. You're looking at the clock, 6 minutes remaining in this football game, and Miami is currently down. They've got to stop them. They can't afford to give them a touchdown. And maybe if they give up 3 points, they're still very much in the ball game. But they've got to put the skids to the Houston offense right now.
There's the franchise. Earl Campbell, he has 63 yards in the second half, only 16 in the first half. Second effort would bring up 3rd down and 1. Kim Beaucamper off the bottom of the pile along with Baumauer. There's Tony Frisch, who has given the Oilers the lead with a 35-yard field goal in this fourth quarter.
It's amazing what kicking a field goal would do. Remember, he missed one, it was blocked. He was walking around with his head down. Now his head is up. He's got all the confidence in the world right now. And I know that he feels very confident. He has to
Wills back in the lineup.
Wonder who they'll give the ball to.
First down to the 24, and the Oilers continue their drive, and at the same time chewing up time. 4:48 left. Has Bum changed his expression yet?
No, he hasn't. And I know he's really uptight. Here it is. I said who they're going to give it to. You know who they're going to give it to. Number 34, Earl Campbell. Great power runner. Not much there, but enough for a first down.
Of course, Pastorini now would like to keep Campbell on the ground and mix in a pass or two, get a touchdown to almost put this one out of reach for Miami. The Dolphins hoping to stop the Oilers, force them to try a field goal. The touchdown extra point could still win for Miami.
Pastorini's doing a great job of using that 30-second clock, too.
4, 3, 2. He doesn't snap the ball to 2 seconds. Wilson back against the grain and inside the 15 to the 14, a gain of 6.
Now that is an intelligent quarterback. He went all the way down to 2 or 1 seconds on that 30-second clock. You know, you have your 2-minute drills. This is also a drill. He's looking right straight up at that 30-second clock up there, and he knows how much time is on it. He'll gear his cadence accordingly.
Let's watch how close he comes to 0 seconds on the 30-second clock with this ball. Meanwhile, at the other end, 3:40 left in the game. Pastorini setting his line. Wilson breaks a tackle. First and goal for Houston at the 6-yard line. Tim Wilson, who caught the touchdown pass from Pastorini back in the first quarter. He has complimented Campbell rather nicely.
Number 86, Mike Barber, doing a job of trying to block on big Beaucamper, and that's a tough duty because that big linebacker's around 250 pounds.
3:02, 3:01, 3 minutes left. A Houston touchdown would make it most difficult for Miami. First and goal at the 6. Wilson to the 3, and that time they snapped the ball with 1 second left on the 30-second clock.
He is completely in charge of that offense out there. He's completely in charge of what is going on out there because he's utilizing every second that he possibly can. The score is not important now. They're ahead by 3. All they got to do is keep the football away from the Miami Dolphins. 22, 21. He generally leaves a huddle around 15 seconds before he has to get the ball off.
2 minutes and 20 seconds left on the game clock.
He'll have to get this play off before the 2-minute warning.
Campbell outside and stopped on the goal line at the 1-foot line with 2:03, and we're going to have the 2-minute warning right now. 2 minutes left in this playoff game. Houston less than a yard away from a touchdown, and the Oilers in front by 3. Baltimore on NBC at 3:30. Special feature, Lou Holtz will wear a microphone throughout. You'll hear his coaching comments. Houston with 505 yards offense. Ball just outside the goal line. 3rd and goal.
This is a man that wanted to get in there. There isn't anything there. You're going to watch him just up and over. Just a great athlete, a great running back. And you notice that he had both arms around that football. He knew the one thing he could not do is cough up the football on the goal line. But it's up and over. The back went up first. That's Wilson trying to knock off some of the stray defensive players coming here because they know what's happening. They know he's coming up the middle.
Well, he knows the way. He scored 13 touchdowns this year. And now Frisch will try to tack on the extra point. We didn't get a chance to discuss it earlier, Len Dawson, but you told me before the game, hey, home field advantage. Houston wanted to play in the Astrodome. Don't be surprised if they don't play a big game, and they have. We'll be back. Time running out on Miami. Between a rock and a hard place. Houston 17, Miami 7, less than 2 minutes remaining. As Frisch lines it down the middle. Taken by Bulash. And he's to the 39-yard line. Clock stops, change of possession, 1:50 remaining. Don Strock takes over at quarterback for Miami. If Houston wins, that's how it'll line up on the weekend next, as we can fill in the blanks. Denver will play at Pittsburgh on Saturday, and Houston will be at New England on Sunday here on NBC. In the NFC, it'll be Atlanta, Dallas Saturday, Minnesota, Los Angeles Sunday.
This is really a difficult situation for Don Strock to come in. Minute 50 to go. They're down by 10. They need 2 touchdowns to win the football game. Offensively, Miami didn't have much going. 42 yards rushing is all they've had this afternoon.
Strock, who hasn't played for a while, gets it off to Nat Moore. He's got blockers. He's to the 40. The acrobatic Moore all the way to the 38-yard line before Kurt Knopf, 25, can make the tackle, and the Dolphins do not huddle. Sperry NFL report follows. The Dolphins trying to get a quick score and then a possible onside kick. They trail 17-7.
Got Nat Moore in the backfield.
Whoops, premature movement. The right guard, Eric Loxo. And, of course, a new quarterback, a new sound, and you expect those mistakes, illegal procedure. Houston officially 487 yards offense, Miami 211.
It's amazing that the game was so close with the statistics that Houston had over the Miami Dolphins. They had just 42 yards rushing in the ball game. And that puts a lot of pressure on the quarterback to come up with the additional yards necessary to move the football.
Campbell leading the way on the ground with 83 yards, and Wilson chipping in with 81. He's been a forgotten hero for the Oilers.
The second half was Earl Campbell. I think he had 14 yards in the first half.
16 in the first, and Wilson had only 17. Second Miami penalty of the game. Strock is hit. And it's Elvin Bethea, 65, the Big E. And the Oilers can start to feel more outward joy along the far sidelines, in the furrows deepen on the brow of Don Shula. It was a tough, long run, but apparently his Dolphins will run out of energy at the wire. We'll be back. Minute 14 remaining. 17-7 Oilers. Bo McComas, player identification, Jack Prote, our statistician. Don Strock takes his Dolphins to the line of scrimmage at the 47-yard line. Going to be intercepted by Mike Reinfeldt, and that's going to about lock it up for the Houston Oilers. I can just hear them cheering down in the south of Texas as the Oilers have come into Miami's Orange Bowl, where the Dolphins have lost only once all year and almost unbeatable at home. And Houston apparently is going to advance in the AFC Championships.
Well, that was a big interception. Don Strock got hit just as he was releasing the ball, and the ball was underthrown by quite a bit. 37 Mike Reinfeldt was in position. You can see by the expression on his face, you know, what this game is all about and how disappointing it is to get this far and then not go on, not win.
I want to thank the men who are in control of these NBC telecasts, and Don Olmeyer, our man at the top, brought excitement to these NBC telecasts throughout the year. George Finkel and Ted Nathanson down in the truck today, and great pictures and replays, and we hope that we've captured all the drama and excitement of this sudden death playoff. A minute 6 seconds left for Pastorini to run out the clock, and the defense wish that Wilson and Campbell would do more of that. They've been punishing runners all day. Bum Phillips, Oilers, in his 4th year. This colorful Texas character, he certainly is true to the name of the city and the state that he represents. And he has brought new allegiance to the Houston Oiler faithful. They call them our Oilers now,
yes,
not Bud's Oilers.
That's right. It used to be you'd go to the Astrodome and shoot off a cannon and wouldn't disturb anybody. They could go to sleep. But now, when you're down there with the pom-poms, those people get excited. That's right. I was down there a couple of weeks ago, and it was really enlightening to see, because you're exactly right. It was our Oilers when they were talking. A few years ago, it was, I guess, Bud Adams' team, or yours, or somebody else's, not mine.
And there's the man who's made it work today, engineered this upset in Miami, Dan Pastorini. Over 300 yards passing. Here's a man with an elbow swollen twice the size, the right elbow, wearing protection for broken ribs. He has a knee brace a la Joe Namath, an ankle that a normal man couldn't walk on. And Pastorini hugs that football, and Miami forced to use a timeout. Bob Griese, perhaps the one injury that Griese tried to recover from and wasn't able to practice all week, was more serious than all those put together that Pastorini had suffered under.
And you can take a look at the statistics for Bob Griese. 11 of 28. That's not the Bob Griese that I know, and the way he throws the football and guides that offensive team. The Pastorini was able to throw on Friday and yesterday. Bob Griese didn't pick up a football until he came out here today.
A reminder again, plenty of football action on NBC tomorrow. The Fiesta Bowl, Arkansas and UCLA. Then on New Year's Day, the Rose Bowl, Michigan against USC. And then we'll be here for the Orange Bowl. Merlin Olsen and I will see Nebraska and Oklahoma in their rematch. Don't forget the playoffs as it sets up now. It'll be Denver at Pittsburgh next Saturday. And on Sunday, you'll see Houston at New England. Oh, it's a delightful time for the football fan. And we've got some great action for you. Man of the Year, Earl Campbell. There have been a lot of Heisman Award winners that were not the great stars as pros, great people perhaps, but didn't excel the way this man has. He has made Houston a team that is worthy of playoff distinction and advancement, and he's a team player.
Well, he really is. Sperry NFL report coming up right after this ball game. He's been hurt. He got hurt a couple of weeks ago. Here's a man, Don Shula, who's been in playoff situations many times. He's come out victorious. He had a season of all seasons, right? When he went undefeated, they said no, it could not possibly happen. But he guided the Miami Dolphins to a perfect, what was it, 16-0 record. And they won the Super Bowl game.
That's how it sets up. Houston winning 17-7. They'll go to New England next Sunday, and on Saturday it'll be Denver at Pittsburgh, a rematch of the game we saw 2 weeks ago from Mile High Stadium when Denver lost the game with a football 2 inches from the goal line.
If the game Saturday is anything like that one, it's going to be a great one. And Houston, they're going to get their troops back together. Pastorini should be a lot better next week than he was today. I don't know what he could do for an encore, 306 yards passing, but he should be healthier next week.
It's going to be at 15 seconds remaining. Pastorini, after a delay of game penalty, just has to fall on this one. If he does, from there it'll be 2 points. 2 points for Miami as Pastorini gives the Dolphins a safety. That'll make it 17-9. The Dolphins will receive the ball on the free kick, but with a touchdown field goal lead, even should the Dolphins return it for a touchdown, they would wind up a point shy.
Well, that's true. They don't have, maybe they bring back the old 2-point rule.
I wish they would.
I'm sure that
like that.
Don Shula right now says that I wish that they had it in the rule book, but that was a good move because they can take the kick now. They got their kickoff team out there. They should be getting pretty good coverage because the ball should get great height. So they can get down under it. 11 seconds to go. They're happy in Houston.
Two of the outstanding teams, both with great running attacks tomorrow in Arkansas and UCLA. Most of you will have your holiday festivities out of the way, the presents opened, and perhaps even the Christmas dinner digested as you sit down. 3:30 Eastern Time, UCLA and Arkansas, right here on NBC. Kurt Gowdy and John Brody out there, I'm sure, watching the action here and ready to do their usual outstanding job for you tomorrow. Look forward to that one. Free kick by Parsley. Matt Moore. Might be the last play of the season for Miami. Moore to the 40. Down he goes. Clock stops. 5 seconds left. Now after this play, we're going right to New York for the Sperry NFL report. There, what a picture that is. Earl Campbell and Dan Pastorini.
That's what it's all about. That's why these grown men are out here under a lot of pain coming out and playing this game. That's what it's all about.
For Len Dawson, Dick Enberg here in Miami, we want to thank you for being with us today and hope that your day tomorrow is a very special one. Those faces, hey, it's already Christmas here in Miami for some of those men.
For Houston, but I'm sure in a couple of days, Bum Phillips going to say, okay, that was just one of them. We've got some more to go.
Don Strock with a spread formation. Last play of the game. And almost symbolic of how it's gone for Houston's defense and Miami's offense. The Oilers sack the Dolphins 17-9. And now let's go to Sperry NFL Report in New York.